Welcome to Arrival Coaching's Thrive Movement 2018 interview series. I am Beth Myers, your host and the owner of Arrival Coaching. I'm a law of attraction empowerment coach, a mentor, and a speaker. And this year's Thrive Movement is focused on the Mother-Daughter series, Thriving in Our Real Relationships. And I term real as real empowerment allows love. Thank you for watching as I introduce you to some women who are daughters, some are mothers, and some are not. Each are welcome to share and reflect on their roles as a mother and a daughter and how that has influenced their journey to thrive and not just survive, and explore how they embrace real relationships to embrace their emotions and empower connections with others, especially women. Today, I'd like to introduce you to my friend and colleague, Cathy Brown. As an energetic, compassionate, and straight-shooting professional, Cathy Brown offers tools and techniques guiding you to act in creating the life that you want. She has a master's degree in business administration, and Cathy has served as a high-powered Wall Street executive for many years, developing a wealth of business building and money-making experiences. She now combines the pragmatic business success of her Master Law of Attraction life coaching, Reiki master and teacher, hypnotherapist, and best-selling author designations to share a unique growth opportunity through personal coaching, business mentoring, online classes, writing, and speaking. Cathy is fun, she is down to earth, and she has a speaking style that is very down to earth as well. She's a trusted mentor and coach, and she believes in miracles. She's experienced the wonders of the universal laws and is honored to serve others on their journey to transform in their lives. So Cathy, I am so excited to have you here on the Thrive Movement for this month of February. So thanks for being here.
Thank you so much. It's just a pleasure to be working with you.
Oh, thank you, Cathy. It's wonderful to be with you as well. And thanks for agreeing to do this interview.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, you're my first one.
Oh, guinea pig.
Yes, no, you know what? We are just going to have some fun today.
Absolutely.
People got to know a little bit about me and my journey as a daughter during the month of January. So I thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, we're going to start the interview with asking you to give me 10 words that describe you by how others would describe you. What are some labels that people would use to describe you?
Well, I was out to dinner with my family last week, and I thought this would be a perfect time to get some answers.
Yes.
So my 7-year-old grandson said that I'm funny and talented. That's a nice combination.
Yes.
The rest of the family said things like loving, loyal, determined. Several of them said lots of energy. That my nickname is the Energizer Bunny.
Yes. I can feel the Energizer Bunny right now.
Yes. A communicator, cute, and strong.
Oh, awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was very pleased to hear that.
I bet you were.
I'd like to add one more.
Yes.
Kick ass.
I love it. I love it.
My daughter says, "Is it okay to say that?" And I said, "Yeah."
Yes, of course it is. Well, which of those words, if we could pick 5 words to describe yourself best as a daughter, how would you describe yourself in that role?
Well, I would think loving and loyal.
Yeah.
A communicator. Hopefully compassionate. Determined and strong.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah. Well, are you a mother, Cathy?
Yes, I have 2 beautiful daughters and 6 grandchildren.
Oh, that's wonderful. And are some girls, some boys?
Yes, my daughter Christine has 3 boys, and my daughter Andrea has 3 girls.
Wow.
Yes.
A six-pack, right?
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Three of each. That's
3 of
awesome.
each.
Fabulous, fabulous. How would your daughters describe you? I know you asked one daughter when you went
Yeah.
out to dinner with your grandchild or grandchildren.
Yes.
Are there any other words that your daughters would use to describe you?
Yes. The word friend came up, which
Hmm.
I thought was very nice. Always there,
Mm-hmm.
always got a plan,
Yeah.
encouraging,
Mm-hmm.
um, dependable, giving, and fun loving.
Oh, wow. What a nice combination.
Yes, I
And to
think so.
think that your daughters say that about you is
I was very happy to
a
hear
nice
that.
compliment.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome. Because everybody has different relationships with their mothers and with their daughters.
you. Yes.
And, some people are not able to use those words to describe, um, somebody in their family, whether it be their mother or their daughter.
I am very blessed. I had a wonderful mother
Mhm.
and wonderful daughters. I really am blessed.
Oh, wonderful. Well, let's find out a little bit about your mom.
Okay. Okay.
How did your mom influence your life, Cathy?
Oh my. How long do you have? I mean,
Well, let's just start.
yes, she influenced in so many ways. I think one of the most important ways is that I always felt she had my back. I
Hmm.
always felt comfortable, and I knew she was always my biggest cheerleader.
Hmm.
So as I was growing up, I was always a risk taker,
Hmm.
but I could do that because I always knew that she would catch me if I would fall. So she was very kind of had a silent strength.
Hmm.
And a lot of times I would think my dad was very, very important. He was the father, come home and breakfast and lunch and everything was on the table, everything, you know. And I thought, gee, he keeps on pushing mom. And I thought that I used to get so upset. Then I realized, no, 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 no. She has the power. She just understands the
Hmm.
silent strength power.
Ah,
Because, you know, back in the 50s and 60s, that was kind of how you acted.
right.
But it was a wonderful combination. So I was very, very lucky to have her.
It sounds like it. It
Yeah.
sounds like Cathy. And it sounds like there was that realization that you had too, to be able to recognize the power that she did have,
Yes.
especially in the role that she played as the mom, as the wife in the 1950s.
Yeah. 50s, 60s. Yeah.
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 Mhm.
And you know, it was interesting because at first I did not realize that. I thought she was weak. And
Yeah.
it took me until I matured, until I got involved with my spiritual studies
Okay.
and understood the true meaning of strength and trust and allowing.
Yeah.
And that made all the difference.
Yeah. Cathy, wow, that's an area you and I connect on because that really happened for me as well,
Yes.
through my the spiritual awakenings that I've had and growth, uh,
Yes, very true.
understanding and accepting and allowing those roles to be relooked at
Yes.
and such. So, wow,
Yeah.
thank you for sharing that.
You're very welcome.
Hmm. So, some spiritual people believe that you pick your parents. What
Mhm.
do you think that that's something that occurred for you? And if so, why do you think your mom picked you or you picked your mom?
Well, I do believe that. And you know, my mom and dad were the perfect complement for each other
Mhm.
because from my dad, I got my drive, my determination, my kick-ass attitude, you know.
Right?
And then from my mom, I got the love and the compassion and the peace and the understanding. You know, so it was a really good combination because one without the other, I don't think I would be very successful. But combining them is who I am, and it's my true authentic self. And it was really a good pairing, I think. I picked well.
I think you did. I think
Yes.
I picked that as well. Yeah, and what a nice blend. And I see that for you in your business, Cathy, and combining that compassion,
Yes.
that love, that ability to want to kick ass and move forward, and in your business and in the varied businesses too. I read your book. So
Oh, thank you.
I read your book, and I just loved hearing your journey of, how you awakened to be your authentic self.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, cool. Well, what's one of your favorite memories that you have as an empowered daughter?
Well, I've got so many of them, but one that comes to mind is when my girls were little, probably 7 and 10. I was divorced, and my mom would come and spend the weekend with us.
Mhm.
And I was totally in charge. I felt that empowerment, but it was so wonderful to have her with us because my daughters just idolized her. And we would sit and watch TV, movies, and have popcorn, and the girls would put plays on. We'd go to the park. It was just such a wonderful, loving and wonderful memory.
Oh, that's beautiful. It's
Yeah.
nice to have those times
Yes.
to cherish and remember, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. What's one example of a time you felt disempowered?
Well, this is a story I'm going to share that I've never shared before.
Okay.
And it was when my mom passed about 2 years ago at age 97. And the last couple of weeks, she refused to eat and drink. And I knew she wanted to go back with Dad. He had passed 2 years previous. And I knew that in my heart. And I had to make the decision that, no more treatments. She was in hospice, and she was just going to be there. And I would go over and visit the last couple of days, all day long, every day. She wasn't in a coma, but she was just sleeping. And I would hold her hand and talk. And I don't know if she heard me or not, but for me, it was killing me to see her doing that. And you just went through that.
Right.
And I got to the point where, oh no, on a Wednesday evening, I left her at midnight. I came home and I just lost it. I just sat down, I started crying, and I said, I can't take it anymore. Please, God, help me. Just like that. My dogs came over. They were all over me. It was just, I totally felt completely deflated and unempowered.
Yeah.
The next morning at 5 o'clock, I got a call. Mom had passed. And then I started feeling guilty. But then I was talking with one of my friends who's spiritually minded. She said, no, Cathy, don't feel guilty at all. Your mom wanted to go home, but she knew you weren't ready. When you said that night, it gave her the permission to finally release and go home, that she knew it was okay with you. Wow.
I just got chills.
Yes. Yes. So feeling disempowered at that point helped me get through a really rough moment and then become empowered again. Yeah.
Well, that's really our journey in life, isn't it?
It certainly is, yes.
Very easily slip into that role of feeling disempowered or in that victim role, and feeling like we have no control, but really remembering that releasing, that surrendering a lot of times is really then allowing ourselves to come back to that empowered space.
Yes.
Because we aren't in control of everything.
No.
And allowing it to be whatever it is to be. And as your friend, very wise friend, shared, that it was your mom, giving your mom that permission because she was kind of hanging on to make sure you were okay.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like they say, let go, let God.
Yeah.
Whether you think of God or the universe or your inner soul or whatever you feel, but giving up the control actually gives you the control.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Point. Yeah, very interesting. And thank you so much, Cathy, for sharing with us in this
You're very welcome.
something that you haven't really shared before.
No.
Well, what tools or strategies have you gained over time as a daughter? What would be something that you feel like you've learned that helps you to have a real relationship with your mom?
Well, I think it was patience, because I am not normally a patient person. I remember the sign one time I saw and I laughed. It was a little man with his hand up. He says, I want patience and I want it now. But being with Mom, going through her journey, especially the last year or so, it allowed me to have the patience and the compassion, and being able to slow down and allow her the opportunity to transition as she wished. So that was a real big lesson for me.
Mm-hmm.
That's also helped me with my children as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting as we learn something with one family member, then we
Yes.
can be able to learn and use that with another family member or a friend or, another interaction that you have with other people. But when it affects us and especially our mothers, because that's our first relationship usually, that's, that's special to
Yes,
have that awareness.
absolutely it is. It
Yeah,
is.
great. Well, what tools or strategies have you gained over time as a mother that
Mhm.
have helped you in your relationships with your daughters?
Well, I think the biggest tool has been communication,
Mm-hmm.
keeping those lines of communication open. That was especially a challenge when they were teenagers, as we all know.
Right.
But allowing them to be themselves,
Mm-hmm.
not in my model, but in their model,
Mm-hmm.
and always keeping the lines of communication open regardless of when it is. I
Mm-hmm.
know both my daughters, if they had problems, they always wanted to talk about them around 2 or 3 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Never when it was convenient, but I learned very quickly how important it is to be available for them when they're ready, because you can't force that,
Yeah.
and to be like my mom was, to be their biggest cheerleader, to understand that, they need, I don't want to say discipline, but they need guidance, but also more than that, they need love and they need trust.
Mm-hmm. Well, it sounds like you provided that, and that's very evident in
Well, thank you.
your relationships with one another.
I hope so. Thank you.
Now you have that with your daughters. How about you and your mom when you were growing up? Did you and your mom have that same type of communication, or was that something that developed more for you as a mom with your daughters?
Well, it was a little tough at first
Mm-hmm.
because in my house, my mom was like the peacekeeper.
Mm-hmm.
My dad was definitely in charge,
Uh-huh.
and I was a little bit on the stubborn side as well. And we often bucked heads, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So it took me a while to understand that there's different ways to try to solve problems instead of going,
Right.
well, you're doing this or I'm doing this. That doesn't work.
Right. Right.
And I learned that from my mom, that silent strength. So
Right.
learning that and understanding that,
Mm-hmm.
and then appreciating mom for her strength and not what I originally perceived as weakness, was
Right.
a big lesson for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that comes with that space and that time sometimes.
That,
I think especially in our generation's journey, I see, and I don't know if this is, you know, is for everyone, but I noticed like with my sisters in particular,
mhm.
um, the dynamic is different between how it was with our mother and them growing up to
Yes.
them really cultivating, wanting to cultivate that more open dialogue, that more open communication about the stuff that was really important,
Yes.
and developing a friendship, but still keeping those boundaries there. Well, I'm the mom and you're the daughter.
Yes.
That doesn't always happen because there can be very blurred lines sometimes. But it
Yes.
sounds like that has really helped in your
It
relationship.
has helped. It has helped a lot. And I think as I grew up a little bit and got a little bit brains, I accepted and appreciated my mom more. Yeah. And I think maybe the maturity, and I think that was because of her guidance and allowing me the opportunity to grow when I was ready to grow, was a big help.
Yeah, yeah. That makes a lot of sense. And that, I can speak for myself as well, that was something that happened for me
Yeah.
over time as well. Just kind of growing into that more love and appreciation of what I perceived as weaknesses or things
Yes.
I didn't like, the contrast, and looked at it more as, wow, I got really clear on, wow,
Yes.
this was what was a key for her, and being able to heal some of that over time.
Yes. Absolutely. And I think also it was imperative on the time that you grew up. like it was in the 50s and 60s.
Yes.
And women's lib was something that was non-existent.
Right.
You know, it started to come when I was getting into the 20s and 30s, you know.
Yes.
But so that quiet strength,
Mhm.
I really appreciate that now.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that. So this is a fun question. What's the
Okay.
wackiest, most fun thing that you have done as a daughter or a woman in particular?
Well, with my mom, we would travel and so forth. In fact, when I was first married at age 21, my husband at that time was in the Army, and we went overseas and lived in Germany for 2 years.
Wow. Uh-huh.
And I had mom and dad come over to visit a couple times. And my mom was always very happy and friendly, and she didn't get it that we were in Germany and not everybody speaks English. So we were out traveling, and we stopped this wonderful bakery. And we all decided to go and have a cup of coffee and, you know, a beautiful piece of pastry. So she goes in and she's looking at, oh, I love this one. Oh, Cathy, look at this one. This is, oh, that's, oh, look at that one. This one has beautiful icing. And she's going on and on, not realizing what she's doing. So we go sit down and they bring our pastries. We all get one, and she gets a whole tray of every one she's pointed to.
Talk about abundance, Kat.
Oh, yes, absolutely. All shared. It was wonderful. But she was just a wonderful, friendly, outgoing person. So many wonderful memories.
Oh, I feel that, and I sense that from you, and I see where she, you know, you get your friendliness from is, you know, I can tell must have been very friendly because you just exude that yourself.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome. All righty. Well, I want to know about a book that you have read and that you too have enjoyed.
Well, she always liked Nicholas Sparks.
Okay.
And she loved The Notebook, which is one we both read. But I think the main thing that I remember with mom is we've had collie dogs since I was 2.
Right.
And there was an author, his name was Albert Payson Terhune.
Okay.
And he wrote back in the 1920s. He lived in New Jersey in Sunnybank, and we also lived in New Jersey. And he had about 15 or 20 collies that ran, and he would write stories about the collie heroes. Ooh. And he wrote a series of about 20 different books. And we collected all of those. And we love to share those. In fact, her last couple of days, I remember sitting in her room and reading her the collie stories.
Oh,
yeah.
That's
so we shared that.
Cool. Oh, what an endearing
Yes.
connection.
Definitely.
Wow.
Definitely. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. Well, and hearing is the last sense
Yes.
to go. And you know that sharing and reading and talking is so important to keep doing because they can hear you.
Yeah. And I remember she held a little stuffed collie, and she was petting it and talking to it just like it was real. Oh. And it was so neat. It really was. Yeah.
Oh, that's really neat, Cathy.
Yeah.
Oh. So what is a habit that you've picked up from your mom that you now share with your daughters?
Let me see. Look at my notes here. Well, I think is the compassion.
Yeah.
I think of all, I mean, I've learned so much from her, but I think the compassion and the just loving to spend time with your daughters. Yeah. I mean, even now, I don't see them as often. They have their own families. And they'll say, okay, let's do something. I say, you know, I don't care what we do as long as we hang out. Yeah. And that's the way mom used to be. We just go over and we sit and we'd watch TV or just talk or whatever, play games. You know, just the idea of the compassion and the love and the importance of family.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Very nice. Well, thank you for sharing that. And I have, I think, 2 more questions.
Okay.
So what words of wisdom would you share with other mothers and daughters to help increase their communication with one another? And I know you spoke about the teen years as being a more challenging time, but it could be a good time. But you know, what would your words of wisdom be?
Well, I think it's all about love
Mm.
and respect and understanding
Mhm.
and giving them space.
Ah.
Now, you still need to be there for guidance,
Mhm.
but there is a difference in being a disciplinarian
Mhm.
and being a person that they want to come to, and if they have a problem. I've always tried to be that type of a person.
Mhm.
Now, being that kind of a mother, I heard a lot of things I really didn't want to hear. Not to share that much. But the idea is the respect and
Mhm.
the love. Those were the words of wisdom that I think I would suggest to give to any parent.
Yeah, beautiful. Right. Well, one last question for you today, and then if you have anything else that you'd like to share,
Okay.
you're welcome to do that. But tell me how you would expand on this quote by Rainier Maria
Okay.
Rilke. There is only one journey, going inside yourself.
Wow. I'm not even sure that needs expanding. However,
Apply it
I,
to mothers and daughters.
well, if my back's to the wall, here's how I would expand that. I would say, because that journey
Mhm.
allows you to live your authentic and best life.
Mm. Yeah, because it's not about out here, is it?
Mm,
It's not about what this person thinks or that person thinks or this role that you're in.
exactly.
It's really, this series is about kind of peeling off those labels. And we are just women. We are people. We are human beings who have these experiences in life. We are here to come back to ourselves. And the best way to do that is coming inside, isn't it?
Absolutely. We go through so much stuff growing up, trying to please others, trying to be this, wear that hat, wear this hat, and we all come back to how we were as we were born,
Right.
to be our true authentic self. And once we can find that, and if we can be comfortable in our own skin, wow, then life really becomes what you want it to be.
Yeah, it does. It does. Wow. Well, Cathy, I have so enjoyed our time together, and I want to just see
Thank
if
you.
there's anything else that you would like to share about how people can connect with you, if something resonated that you were sharing that they'd like to find out more about. How can they get in touch with you?
Oh, wonderful. They can get in touch with me through my website,
Okay.
and that's lifecoachingbycathy.com. And that's Cathy with a C, lifecoachingbycathy.com. And I also have some free gifts. If
Ooh.
they want to go to that website, on the top there's a little link, and they just put their name and their email in, and I will send them an abundance meditation. And everybody could use a little more abundance,
Yes.
as well as a little short report on the 7 essential laws, like the law of attraction and that sort of thing. And also a subscription to my newsletter, which is going to become a video newsletter in a couple of weeks, called Happy Thoughts with Cathy Brown.
Awesome, Cathy. And Cathy, you spell your name Cathy, right?
That's correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, again, I so appreciate you sharing. And is that your mom back there behind you
Yes.
by the flowers?
You can see it a little closer here. This is
Oh,
my mom. I
yes.
don't know. Can you see it with a?
Yes, there's a little bit of glare, but I can see it right there.
Okay, good. Good. Yep. That's mom.
Oh, wow. And she was 97, Cathy.
97. Yep.
Wow.
Am
She's
I?
beautiful, just as you are.
Yes. Oh, thank you. And you know what? I want to thank you, because preparing for this interview gave me an opportunity to relive a lot of memories I haven't thought about for a while and bring back her love.
Oh.
Uh, she was a wonderful woman.
Oh, I can tell from just you sharing about her, knowing you, and hearing you talk about your daughters and your grandchildren as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, I just so appreciate your time and energy, Cathy, and for sharing a little bit more about yourself and your real relationships with your mother and your daughters, and just being a daughter yourself. And as we move through life in all of the roles that we take on as human beings, the thing that we need to remember is that we all go back to just love. It's returning to love. And the
Yes.
more we can embrace that love, it helps us to be real and enjoying those real relationships with one another, especially with our mothers and our daughters, or as a daughter with whoever we connect with. I just hope that you will take time to be authentic in your interactions with one another, and join us next month for an interview with another mother, daughter, or maybe both. Sometimes it might be a mother and a daughter. And Cathy, again, I thank you so much. And everybody have a great rest of your day, and join us again for Thrive Thursdays, Thriving in Your Relationships Mother's Daughter series next month.
Thank you. It's been a wonderful pleasure. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.